I'm actually not sure how I am going to describe the events of the week beginning approximate 7 days, beginning February 9th through February 16th, 2024. The events that happened in that week literally could have been an entire year. In those 7 days that I just said, could have been any other year. So yeah, I honestly don't know how I'm gonna do this, but let's do it. And Januaries are usually kind of chill. That's why I like to take a larger vacation in the beginning part of the year, because I'm busier during the later part of the year. So January was fairly uneventful. I think the one thing I do remember is I have a children's book coming out this year. Mind you, 2024 is still not over. So I was meeting a lot with my book consultant, and there was something else going on, but anyway, not necessarily relevant to the story. But let's start February 9th. So February 9th, Friday, was the day that my mother, Peter, and myself finally got together. And so the way it happened was we made plans. We made to go to Mama's Cafe in North Beach. Mama's, which is, anyway, you can't beat the ambiance. You can't beat the food. It is an absolute classic. Go to Mama's. Like, fun fact, it used to be an ice cream parlor, and that's why it's fairly small inside. It was never designed to be a restaurant with food, absolutely incredible food. But hey, San Francisco is known for amazing food. So Peter and I met up, like we walked there shortly before, and then we met my mom there. And what I remember is that everyone was so nervous. Everyone was so nervous, through all three of us. And Peter and I don't eat breakfast. I guess we're the type that just stay caffeinated. So my mom was like eating breakfast, and that just made her a little even more kind of worried. Like, oh my God, you guys aren't gonna eat, right? And I get it. Like, I ordered a shake or whatever, a smoothie. But I was also if it wasn't for the fact that I like to stay caffeinated, even for that, I mean, I was so nervous I probably couldn't eat anyway. So the three of us are there. For all intents and purposes, other than the nervousness part, everything went very well. This is what came out of that conversation. So as much as I had been pushing this, as much as I had been like wanting this to happen, wow, not gonna compete with that. Whatever the hell just went outside the window. But okay, so here's something I'm gonna throw in there. After Peter and I broke up, about a solid 2 or 3 months later, my mother told me that she did not appreciate Peter lying to her about his background and what he did. And I really do appreciate my mother waiting until way after and not saying this while we were still together. But I asked my mother solidly, and feel free to be, we're not together anymore. Feel free to be honest. I asked my mother, honestly, what was your impression of Peter? I want to know. And she didn't really I really had to drag it out of her. She didn't want to tell it. My mom's not a gossip. And she just felt kind of disappointed and sad that he felt the need to lie. He told her, again, this guy's been a server at the same fast food place. Well, it's going on 6 years, and it'll probably be a decade. And Peter's got a smart mouth, a shitty attitude. That's about it. And I think that every year that he continues working at this dead-end job, with this idea, with this bullshit excuse that has been going on for several years now as well of, I'm going to get into real estate. One day I'm going to get into real estate. One day I'm going to get into real estate. especially when you're surrounded, like all your friends have so many other things going for them. Like your friends are in grad school, your friends are like moving in their careers, and you're just totally satisfied working this job and just, you know, ain't gonna be cute. Ain't gonna be cute in 5 more years. And also, how do you go from being valedictorian of your high school to doing this? And mind you, like, this was never something that I judged him about. I didn't see it as my place. But it's a little bit different when you get perspective from your mother and after the fact, when the dots only connect when you're looking backwards. So anyway, I had to throw that in there. But that was not the most important or most poignant part of our meeting. It had actually something to do that was completely unrelated to Peter and I. So just to finish, like Peter and I and my mom had a great brunch, great meeting. Peter had to go to work after. So I remember we walked in to the corner, and I remember I gave him a kiss goodbye. My mom acts all awkward because, oh my goodness, my faggot son is kissing his boyfriend goodbye. And I just remember there was this moment where we like had the exchange goodbye and we were standing in the sun, and then Peter said afterwards, like, oh, I hope your mom got a look at my eyes. And I was like, I hope she did too. But I was very, very, very distracted by a comment that my mother made at brunch. So, you know, we were just kind of talking, you know, making small talk. And my mother said that she actually had to make an appointment for my cat Pokey at the vet. My heart stopped. I was like, wait a minute. What's going on? What do you mean you have to? And my mom, again, very casually, and she's like, I don't think anything's wrong, but you know, she's older now. What we think happened is a raccoon scared her, and she like, what they think is like she came down on one of her paws wrong, and so she had a little bit of a limp. And this was the first time I had heard of it. And I'm leaving out like 4 other things that are going on in this week that are absolutely not related to this story. So I basically told my mom, I said, this is when I can be over there. I said, I'm sorry I can't be there before, but like literally every single day until the day I made it over there, which you'll see. I was just stressed and had work and things to do up the woo-ha. So my mom let me know that there was absolutely nothing to be worried about. She thought Pokey was fine. Mind you, Pokey's 20 years old. Pokey's gonna be 21 in July, right? And I picked Pokey when she was 3 days old. I've had Pokey since I was 10 and a half. I'm not gonna give you the whole backstory. I wrote a whole blog post. It's a part of my book. Like, Pokey's a member of the family, okay? And like I said earlier, when I left for college, Pokey gravitated towards my dad. Prince gravitated towards my mom. But Pokey's like the queen. She's earned her stripes, you know, and also Pokey's mother was feral, so I don't need all the people talking, you don't have the cat outside. Pokey was an indoor-outdoor cat. She earned that right. That's the life that she lived, and that's how she was happy. She lived to be fucking almost 21. So, okay. So, I said, okay. I said, I'll be over there on Sunday. And, next day was Saturday. I had a huge all-day vendor event in the Mission District. And then the next day, Sunday, was none other than Super Bowl Sunday. And normally I could give a shit about that, but the 49ers went. You know what happened. Anyway, I'm going to get back to that actually in the next episode, because again, all of this happened, like there was every single day, just a nonstop roller coaster. So Super Bowl Sunday, day before vendor event, I'll come back to Super Bowl Sunday in the next video.